I'm listening to a podcast by my virtual friend, Cliff Ravenscraft's wife, Stephanie. And she's talking about how her kids are now all adults, young adults, her youngest one being 21. And it got me thinking of this whole empty nest thing that I've been dealing with for, I would say, maybe 3 years. Our kids are 27, 25, and 23. Not exactly, but almost. So, our baby is going to be 23 in July. So that's a big deal. And it's been hard for me. I don't know how many men talk about this. Maybe if I was a mom, it would be like, oh, how cute. But as a man, as a male, it might be like, what's wrong with you, dude? But this is just how I feel and who I am. And it's one of those things that really hits me for many reasons. And I'm sure a lot of Hispanic males, maybe even men of color, I don't know, we deal with this more than others. Maybe not. Maybe it's just not talked about enough. I certainly don't have an upbringing or background of kids leaving. I was with my grandma until I was 26. My sister, who's in her late 40s, lives with my mom. My other sister, who's in her 50s. Did I say my younger sister's in her late 40s? What I meant to say. My other sister's in her 50s, and she lives close by. We're all Hispanic culture, as you know. We're very family oriented. Excuse my voice. I've been singing a lot lately. And this is just who we are. We love being together. And so when David left away to college in his third year to UCSB, that killed my soul. To not see my son for 2 years was just horrible. And I feel like he struggled and I wasn't there for him. UCSB wasn't the best influence and he made choices that I wish he hadn't. And we're all now in recovery or healing from that. And it's slow, but I definitely blame myself and life and American culture. Obviously, he wanted to leave. He could have gone local to a school 5 minutes from home, but he didn't want to. So all that stuff. And then our daughters left about a year ago. Our son is now back. And as I said, he's getting back on his feet. And also our beautiful Daisy died about 2 years ago, around the same time. And then Rochelle's parents, Dad and Mom Baker, who were big mentors of mine, also passed away in the last 3 years. So it's been horrible. What can I say? My wife had a medical emergency, you could say. It's just been a crazy 3 years on the heels of work stuff and all the usual stuff. So, but I think the empty nest thing has really been difficult, and we're just beginning, Rochelle and I, to talk about it. And I'm in counseling. I've been in counseling for many years talking about it, and just all these things were normal. And as I was listening to Stephanie, she was saying, wow, my daughter's 21. And I'm like, so? No one cares. No one understands what you feel as a parent. For me, I'm like, 21, what's the big deal? She's 21. But for her, it's like she's no longer 13. And I'm sure somebody listening to my sad story, it's like, who cares when your kids are just growing up? Let them go. Let them be. But whatever, man. These are my feelings, and this is my life. And so I'm here to talk about it. I grieve all the time. I cry a lot. They were just here for my birthday, and it wasn't perfect because they were on their way to do something else, and they all got home late from work on Friday night, so it was like a quick thing, and it wasn't the usual, they're all home, and we can just celebrate all weekend. Instead, my wife and I, we went to Disneyland. That was beautiful, but without the kids, and blah, blah, blah. And so it was just sad. And we both feel it, Rochelle and I. Mother's Day is going to come soon here for her. I know that's going to hit her. Just because it's just different. Having kids come back. It's not the same as having them come down the stairs. And again, most people be like, dude, what are you crying over? This is normal. This is how life works. But we're a tight knit family and we want to be together all the time. Now, the girls are happy. They don't want to be home, they don't want to move back. And our son, he's trying to just get his life figured out so that he can move out, move on and move out. I'm sure, obviously, right? This is just a season for him. So it's a really weird time. Plus, yeah, aging parents, the typical midlife stuff. And yeah, my own health. Also, I tore, or probably tore, but I sprained my knee a couple of weeks ago. It hurts. I have some floaters in my eye. I feel like I have cataracts and who knows what all. It's just all that midlife stuff that hits. And it's interesting. My job, my ministry, I guess the things that I hoped for at this season, I thought maybe all our kids would be home, married, all living at home, or all single living at home, all graduates working 5 minutes from home. And guess what? We did have that. David was home, and our daughter did work 5 minutes from home, living at home, blah, blah, blah. But then everything blew up in a normal biblical leave and cleave kind of way. Now, of course, I think that they would have just gotten married and move on with their husbands and wives. But I wonder if even that, because it's no joke. I would rather build them apartments and a house in the backyard and retro the garage and have them all live with me for the rest of their lives. And I want to die together. I mean, me, not anyway. I want to die at home is my point, with my whole family around me. That's what I mean to say. It's just who I am. It's just, and it really isn't like a white thing or a brown thing. I was talking to my friend who's very white and he feels the same way. And yeah, sure, perhaps he has more of a background in leaving, and his brothers did, and he left when he was 19 or whatever. And so sure, maybe that's more in the American culture, but he still feels the same way. He says that he wishes they were all together. And that's where his real peace and joy is, just having the kids all be home. And his kids are a little younger than ours, maybe by 10 years, so a lot younger. So, yeah, it's one of those things. You just go through it. I guess like anything in life, parenting, newborns, teenagers, now the whole leaving thing, you just go through it. There's no joy in it at this point for me. I don't see anything positive about it. Not really. Maybe someday. My mom tells me that this is normal, this is good, and so I trust her. And life tells you that this is normal and good, so I trust life. And God tells me that we're supposed to leave and cleave. Heck, I did at 26. I left my grandma who raised me. I never looked back. I never even thought of her. And I think my grandma would tell my mom how she would miss me and cry. And I could care less, not because I don't love her, but because, hey, man, I'm loving my new life, my wife, and my new life. And that's supposed to happen. And now I guess, well, and then my father and mother had to see me leave home at 13, when I was 13. I mean, are you kidding me? How many birthdays and Christmases and Mother's and Father's Day and my birthdays did they miss, and that they wish their son was home? All the memories that they had of me when I was a little boy. They used to buy me a bike and a skateboard and sing me happy birthday. All that was gone, like literally overnight, because of a horrible war. And they thought, man, he'll be back in a year or two. And I never came home. I never came back. So, hey, man, suck it up, buttercups. Kind of what I'm telling Stephanie. It's like, come on, it's no big deal. But when you're in the crucible, in the messy middle, as people call it, or when the snow globe is being shaken up, you don't have any perspective. And that's where I am right now for this last year, since June, when everything kind of blew up on our faces. And we're doing our best. Most times we act like everything's fine, but inside we're falling apart with sadness and longings, and in the messy middle, in the liminal space, not where we used to be and not where we want to be. just in the middle somewhere. And that's a whole midlife thing. I think that's happening to us. I'm not alone. I know many people go through this, men included. Maybe men don't talk about it like I do, but I do because I want to be a hope and an example to men who feel this way. And I'm not going to talk about it like 3 ways to overcome sadness at midlife. This is just my feelings, my story without much perspective or teaching moments, just simply how I feel. Maybe next week, next month, next year, I'll be so thankful. But right now, I'm in the grieving process, in the sadness slash bartering. Maybe they can move back for a year, and if this and if that. My daughter the other day said, "I don't want a man to take care of me. I want to work and make my own money, and I want to stay at home dad." I thought, wow. And I don't know what our other daughter wants, but really, it's sure it's not, I guess, traditional, but I'm not sure what that means. I love our daughters, and life will dictate, and God will lead them in whatever He wants to do with their lives. I trust God, and I trust them too. And of course, we just keep talking and in relationships so that they don't make mistakes and that we can be in their lives. And I'm not saying it's a mistake, but just simply having conversations. Me as the father who loves them, who guides them, who knows. And yet, I think that's something that I'm grieving also. I feel like I don't know anything anymore. When they were younger, it was so instinctual and a one-way conversation. Let's go here. Let's play that. You love this. Let's join in. We're all in the car at church. Or now, no, I don't agree with that. I don't want that. No, I don't like that. I'm going away. Can you help me with this? Can you? So it's this dichotomy of I don't need you anymore, but yet I need you, or I'm mad at you, but I miss you. This really weird two-way street that obviously we're not used to. We didn't really deal with teenage stuff or kid stuff, but now the young adult stage is where it's hitting us, and we're just lost. But Rochelle and I talk all the time, and that helps. And of course, as I said, I have a counselor. Rochelle has her team of women and sisters and friends that support her, and we have, of course, the Lord and my mom, and Rochelle has mentors, so we have support. But wow, it is a unique journey, and a journey that we all have to walk. You could say alone, sometimes with your husband, wife, and with my sister. Shout out to my sister, because her and I, Amanda, we talk a lot about, especially mental health stuff with our family. And then even to my uncle, shout out to my uncle, Juan. I talked to him last week just about life, and he's 81, and that was great. And shout out to Darwin too, my friend Darwin, who's also in his late 70s, just talking about life and how it sucks to get old and everything hurts. So all those things are very comforting to me now. And I thank God for those men, for Robbie, for Saul, for Matias, for my amazing wife, my mommy, all these people that God has put in my life to walk, not to fix me or heal me or even ChatGPT, not to, magically change my life or fix my life. Even Pastor Drew yesterday was talking about, I guess, the addiction to happiness. I definitely am addicted to happiness and to peace and to non-suffering. And instead, the passage was on holiness. I think what God is telling me is to be different and to not be like the world, who gets anxious and depressed and rebels and angry and whatever, all that stuff. So I'm learning a lot, trying my best, sometimes failing, sometimes not too bad. And I love to share that with you. And if you'd like to be a part of my coaching program, my mastermind, a group of people who are learning together, and I guide them as I'm being led myself, then you can just email me, trigger@davidtrey.com, or go to my website, davidtrey.com/coaching, and I'd love to have you be a part of this group. Thank you again for being here. Thanks again for being here. I'll see you next time. Adios.